Hey guys, we're back with another video today, and today it's going to be another Creepy Cryptid. It's going to be the Bear Lake Monster, one of my favorite all-time legends. This is, of course, in Bear Lake, which is almost split in half by Utah and Idaho border. The Bear Lake Monster is actually known to be 50 to 90 feet long and no less than 40 feet. It was first called the Water Devil by the Native Americans that had inhabited the land until the pioneers came. Hardly anybody doubted its authenticity in 1868, and many locals considered the story to be indisputable. In 1996, it officially received its name, Isabel, in the Raspberry Day parades by an 8-year-old. The Loch Ness Monster was found 65 years after the first sighting of Isabel. Local sightings describe the creature as crocodilian in shape and look, with hard leather as a back, and not scales as a fish. They described it as it was very fast in water, sometimes almost as fast as a locomotive. As for something that was 90 feet long, at max, traveling at the speed of a locomotive, it would have been terrifying to say the least. At the bottom of Bear Lake, which is 208 feet deep at its lowest point, and almost 15 miles long in its length, there have been spotted thermal vents. These thermal vents are miniature volcanoes spewing up hot water from underneath the lake. Other creatures of a smaller size, but still in similar looks, have been spotted in local rivers and lakes in the northern Utah and southern Idaho territories. It is true that caves are in the area. Minnetonka Cave is a dry cave, but Rick Spring in Logan Canyon is an underwater cave system, one of the first found in Utah. This thing is miles long and is filled with water and dark corners where a creature could look and hide. Maybe not as big as a 90-foot crocodile, but smaller ones could be inside. It might seem far-fetched, but could these creatures be left over from the Lake Bonneville, which was an enormous lake that covered a lot of Utah, and finally about 15,000 years ago it drained, and only 10,000 years ago did the humans begin to inhabit the Utah region. It might seem implausible, but these creatures seem old and prehistoric at best, and at worst, the stuff of nightmares. Theories have led to the idea that tunnels connect the Salt Lake to the Bear Lake, and even to the Pacific Ocean. These haven't been proven, and are unlikely to. But could there be tunnels that lead all the way out to the Pacific Ocean, and even closer to the Salt Lake, to which these creatures could escape to, or come from? In a quote from past articles of newspapers, it says, sightings of the Bear Lake Monster, as well as similar creatures in other rivers and lakes in the Utah Territory, are calling the sightings into question. The numbers of alleged appearances of lake monsters all across northern Utah caused some people to speculate that there have been underground channels connecting the Great Salt Lake and other waterways to Bear Lake. Other legends have stated that the infamous Pecos Bill fought this monster with his bare hands, which ended up in a 3-day-long battle in which he threw the creature so far it ended in the Loch Ness, which became the Loch Ness Monster. This is of course a legend, but a great story told by the locals. Sightings have still occurred in 1907, 1937, 1946, and even modern-day times of 2002. But the story doesn't come without its skepticism. In a quote from the Standard Examiner, the account then told of a fisherman accounted from years earlier when they had a wagon full of fish on the shore. They spotted something large moving toward the shore at terrific speed. One of the men shot at it. It disappeared, and then a few minutes later floated motionless to the surface. They paddled out to it in a boat and found it to be nothing more than a half-grown beaver. Yet so curiously did it reflect on the water that it really appeared to be 50 to 100 feet long. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by a half-grown beaver, but to have something where its reflection appears to be 50 to 100 feet long seems skeptical at best. This does call into question the authenticity of the story. More studies have been found out and call into more skepticism. They found that an elk family swimming across the lake could look like a gigantic creature. And even Joseph C. Rich, The original reporter, who had gathered stories and tells from locals of Native Americans and pioneers, admitted it was a first-class lie. After 26 years, he admitted the whole story was fake. But it is still cited even after his death. A cow bone was even found in the cave, with no clue of how it had gotten there. Who knows? Is the Bear Lake monster, or Isabel, as her name is, something real, something terrifying, and something almost never seen? Or is it just, as Joseph C. Ritz put it, a first-class lie?